What's up, traders? Going 9 for 11 today. Pretty crazy day, not gonna lie. Did not trade any of the meme stocks. I said that I was not going to trade any of the meme stocks if they started going crazy this week, and sure enough, today they went absolutely batshit crazy. Um, Thought about playing them a couple times. Shares were kind of iffy on some. Didn't know if we were going to possibly run out of them, especially with the kind of volume these things were getting. So I decided to stay away from them. And I'm not sure, honestly, as I was watching them, would I have made money on some of them or would I have stopped out? Because I don't know where my take profits would have been on some of them, but we definitely would have been scaling into pretty much all of them. The one that we did play was FUBO, and we'll get to that one. But that was actually one that I knew was a previous meme stock. And so I started it a little bit lighter because I didn't want to get caught in something silly. And it ended up being okay. But if we start with our first trade, don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way. Always appreciate that support. If you do have any questions, comments, feel free to leave those down below. Hit the notification bell so every time I upload a video, you can see it. I will also have a link to the live stream. It'll be unlisted, but it'll be in the comments below. So if you want to watch that, feel free to click down there. Also, you can find me in Discord or over on Twitter. Those links are both down below as well. GNPX was our first trade. This one was a pretty standard one right out the gate. Nice little pop up through the $0.50 up towards 270, got short, came down, tested that $0.50. This one actually did continue down lower, but a nice little start to the day. Then on to IONQ. This one, previous resistance down here from after hours and pre-market around 715, makes a nice little pop up through 750, up through 8. We actually, I think, started this one down here at 779, got the add up through 8, comes down, we take half off, look to add, basically looking to cut this up through 795, assuming if it goes up through there, we were going to head back towards the highs. A little mad at myself for this one because I told myself I was going to start using high of day pretty much for everything, because a lot of times we get these where it just bounces, puts in the lower high, and then tries to continue lower. And I think just I was in another trade at the same time while we were trading this, which was FUBO. And I just kind of went back into my old habits of saying, well, if it's going to break here, it's probably going to go to high of day, where a lot of times it does break that area. It grabs liquidity from people that think it's going to go back to high day and then doesn't. So I had the right idea of adding there. But I still should have been using high of day as my stop if I was going to do that, but immediately stopped out because it did start to go higher, stopped out at 799, realized it was doing exactly what I thought it was going to do, putting in a higher low and, or lower high. Sorry, I got it mixed up. So I jumped back in, same share size, or actually, no, I didn't. I hit the, short high of day risk. So it's basically, I was just risking $10 if it went back to the highs from where I got in, and it tried to go back up this time up through 8. It got to 8. We added again, same size, basically just doubling it down, a lot closer to our risk point, which was high of day. And as you can see, it did try one more time here. Didn't quite get to 8. And then it came down, took half, and then took the other half when it tried 750, but couldn't get through. So we actually tried to let this go through 750. It didn't, and took it on the way back up at 757. As you can see, this thing has pretty much went higher the rest of the day. So pretty good trade there on IONQ that actually ended up being our biggest winner of the day. Then on to FUBO. You're going to see as we scroll out here, yesterday's high 452. Our first trade was way down here. It's almost like you can't even see it. But if we scroll in, you can see when it was making the move, it was actually pretty decent. We were obviously looking for this 450 retest. And since we only got a starter on the smaller size, was really looking for at least, I think our order was at 455. It came to 462. We didn't get any move down towards that 452, unfortunately. Came back up. It was a decent amount of time went by. So I decided to just cut it at high of day and move on and wait for a better move. As you can see later, since you've already seen it, we'll zoom in and take a look at it. This one, I wasn't here. I think I was taking the dog out. I don't remember what it was. Oh, this is the one I think I was complaining that for some reason it didn't pop up on the scanner, because I definitely would have been in this. As you can see, the previous resistance was all the way down here. Nice curl motion, nice volume coming into this up through the $0.50. Definitely would have at least started this, probably would have top ticked it. So it wouldn't have made too much on it, but I definitely would have been in this, which was frustrating. And I remember saying, I remember hearing Charlie from Benzinga saying something about it, but then I just didn't hear what was going on, or I didn't see it on the scanner, so I didn't click over to it because I was also in a different trade at the same time, which was APRN. So, or maybe it wasn't APRN because that could have been earlier in the day. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so a little frustrated. But then we get the move up here, up through this previous resistance of 562. Makes a nice little move. Was really looking for this to go up through 650. Didn't quite get there. Took half off. We only took 20 shares because, like I said, I didn't want to get caught in something silly. And if it did, I wanted to be able to make sure I had a lot of room for the actual squeeze. Took half off. It went back towards the highs. Didn't even get up through 650 like I was hoping. So we just kept it on and looked for that move down through 6, and we ended up taking that off. And as you can see, that was actually the bottom before it decided to go pretty crazy to the upside. So there was really nothing. I mean, maybe the move up through 8, but as you can see, it just kind of looked a little grindy to me. So I stayed away from it after that trade there. There was really no more of those like sharp moves up, in my opinion. This was kind of grindy. Sure, it wasn't a lot of volume, but there was no like actual fast move to the upside. By the way, I am going to do TraderSync at the end of this recap. So if you have made it this far and that's what you were looking for, that will be at the end. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Next trade was APRN. Zoom out, see previous highs from yesterday, 470, 480. And if we zoom in, pretty decent little move on some volume. This was kind of a volume out of nowhere, up through 5. I think we actually started this one early. Yeah, we started this on 501, got the ad up at 517 when it went up to 520, came back down, took half off, obviously looking for the other half to come back down towards 480. And this one started to curl back up. I tried to, it came down through 5 and then went back up through 5, and basically just told myself, if this one does start to curl, I'm just going to take it off. And it did end up going higher and decided to keep on going. Next trade was on KIRK, which actually ended up being one of the meme stocks of the day, but we got it a little bit before I think a lot of the volume really started to come into it. And you can see previous highs down here at 427. Kind of just a slight move up, and then we finally get a move. I was a little bit late, but I knew we were so close to 5. I just really wanted to see if it could get through. It got to 5, it went to 506, and started to come back down. I thought that we weren't going to really get anything past that, so we started it there at 497. However, right after it decided to go up, got a nice little move up towards 534. We get the ad at 526. Starts to come down, and this is kind of where this one got frustrating because my average was right here and it just kept hitting it and trying to bounce, hitting it and trying to bounce, hitting it and trying to bounce. So I started taking some pieces off, but I really wanted under 5. I wanted that flush through 5. And of course, I mean, you can see the candles went back up and then came down, went back up to 516 and down. I think our average was 517. And then we finally got the flush. And it happened all at once, took it off there at 494. Now you can see immediately pretty much went right back to the highs. So pretty decent trade there on KIRK. Next trade was on CRBU. This one was a really slow one. If we scroll out, previous resistance all the way down here at 1012, makes a nice little move here. I wasn't paying attention to it. So I didn't even see this, but then it decided to keep going with no real pullback. Got up through 11, started this at 1132, made a nice little move up here to 1170 1170. And I was really looking for an ad closer to 12 if we were going to add. Again, the whole point of the way that I'm trading now is to make sure that I space my ads so that I can always hang on in case something decides to go crazy, right? Get rid of those outliers if possible. Starts to come down, gave us this bounce. I noticed that this bounce was, first off, we had our order at 1108. I came back and I had an order at 1108. I think I was taking care of the dog or something, and I saw it went to 1109 and it started to bounce, came up to 1138, which was through our average. And basically I was saying, I don't really know where to cut this. I mean, high of day was really the first logical place to cut this because there was nothing to base it off of, even if I didn't want to use high of day. But then it made this push back up to 38 and started to come back down. So on the way down here, I tried to hit this when it was at 30, but as I hit it, it flushed like 10 cents and I ended up getting filled at 1116, adding to my position. But I was really just saying I was going to get out at 1139, and I was trying to add as close as I could to that. So if it worked, we could get some more money out of it. And that did work. Unfortunately, I just got a bad fill on that. And it still ended up being an okay trade. And as you can see right after that, this thing decided to grind right back to the highs. So decent trade there on CRBU. GRTS was our next trade. Scroll out, you can see previous highs down here at 424. And this one just grinded. And then we finally got a nice little move on some volume. Went through the $0.50, got a fill at 553, went up to 65, came back down. We took it off, and I contemplated on getting back in here, but was looking for up through 6. Don't think I would have faulted myself for realizing that this was kind of a fake out breakout and jumping back in maybe on this candle here. But we didn't, and just avoided that. So decent little quick scalp there. That was a minute and a half trade, so nothing too crazy there. Then Wayfair, or yeah, I believe this is Wayfair W. This one was pretty crazy. Previous resistance all the way down here, high from yesterday, 70.40, and it just curled, and then boom, we got a lot of volume finally. Made a high of 75.64. We got in at 75.33, pretty darn close to the top. And I remember I was looking at something else. It might have been BBBY or GME or something. And I just remember saying, I'm just going to look for the quick dollar. And basically, so I just put it out at a dollar, 74.32 versus 74.33. So a dollar and a penny. And that was what we got. It came down, gave us a fill. But as you can see, probably should have tried to be a little bit more patient with that because it really didn't give us a reason to get out, maybe on this candle down here. But yeah, a little sad that I didn't get a little more patient with that one, because this one definitely gave us half the move, and we took it way before half the move just because for whatever other reason there was. FUBO, our second trade on FUBO was next, and then Hood was our last trade that we took today. Just a small one here on Hood because I heard Charlie say something about it. And so it started to go, and we know Hood can possibly be a type of meme stock. Previous resistance here at 1120, makes a move up towards 1150. I was obviously looking for a little bit higher, but it only went to 56. We started at 51 on the way back down, and it started to come down, and it started to feel like it didn't really want to go too much lower. We had an order at 35. And it poked through at 39, but then there was a big buyer or cover order that stepped in at 40, and it just couldn't get through there. And it kept coming to 40, then back up to 44, down to 40, back up to 44. And I think I gave it like 4 or 5 times. And I think it was like the fourth or fifth time I just took it off at 1144. It did go a little bit higher up to 1146. And then ultimately it did end up failing. So that was a little frustrating, but it did end up going higher. So that was my trades. 11 total trades, 9 of them were green. I never really risked anything crazy, and I absolutely love it. Like, I'm still making the same amount. I'm sure I'm taking a lot more executions, a lot more tickets, so there's going to be more commissions. But looking at the final result, it says we made $67 out of that 80.39. So it's really not, taking too much out of it. And we're still, I mean, granted, today was kind of an oddball day, but it was nice. I mean, I am not going to complain whatsoever. So over here to TraderSync, let me pull it over, and we'll take a quick look at it just to show you guys where we're at overall. I can probably further. Well, I guess we'll just. And so if we go to, I mean, this is from the beginning of 2021. These are my stats. This is what we're up. We're up $6,032. Win percentage is 84.29%. 1.7 profit factor with a cumulative return on the overall account of 20%. So we've made 20% on the $30,000 account over the course of the last 2 years. So, I mean, it's not great when you're day trading, but it's also not bad. If we go into the management tab, I'll show you where we're at as far as the overall chart, basically. So this is the beginning of 2021, coming all the way up. This is the huge Veru. So this is when I tried to do what I'm doing now and ran into a couple outliers, but also was trading with the same starting size. I didn't shrink my size to start. So I basically was getting too big too quick. And I was also, for some reason, thinking that I could add quicker if I was doing it that way. And it just led to 2 big losses right away. And then I got mentally frustrated and ended up trying to trade Tesla to the long side on the day that Elon was selling all of his stock. And that didn't work out too well. So there's Veru, I think it was GPS, and then Tesla. I'm pretty sure it was in that order too. So this was like the Veru trade. This is the GPS trade. And then this is the day of the Tesla ruins. And basically just fought my way back up. After I realized that's not working, I went back to what I was doing for this entire time. It's just I wasn't taking a lot of trades. Some days I wasn't trading at all. Some days I was trading once, maybe twice. And I just realized that it's starting to take a mental toll. Like it was taxing. It was mentally taxing to trade like that. And even so, still trading this way, I ran into ACAM, and ACAM was a complete outlier. Just never really pulled back, never gave me a chance to even get out break even. It was just one of the ones where we were going to probably lose on it no matter what. However, I will tell you, and I'm going to show you guys here in a second about the market replay here on TraderSync. that had I played it how I'm playing it now, I would have at least broke even, because I went back and I tried it. But even with that trade in there, as you can see, since then, we started trading again. We just kept trading the same way that we were. We got to about here, and it was about a week and a half ago. I think it was last Monday, actually. So about a week and 2 days, we started trying the new way. Like, let's try to get more trades, start with smaller size, take the trades that we feel are going to work. Like a lot of the ones that are like $3, $5, $8, $1, $2, like $5, like all those are trades that I never would have took previously. But now I'm taking them, and sure, they're small amounts, but they add up. Clearly, they're adding up. Like, I don't have a single trade over $23 in the realized column, and we made $80. So it all adds up. It's just a matter of putting them all together. So if this keeps working out at the end of the month, I plan to just double that size, and today would be a $160 day. And I would not be complaining at all about that. That'd be a pretty nice little upgrade. I mean, $80 is still nice. It's not bad. So I'm not really complaining. I'm just actually really excited. But if we look at this, we're at 6,032, 33, 8, whatever, some odd cents. And the all-time highs, we can get it on there, is 6,034.86. So 34 to 32, or actually, I was going to say, I thought it was higher. So it's 6,060 to 6,032. So we're $28 away from the all-time highs. So I would hope that tomorrow we'll be busting through that, and then hopefully we can just continue to keep on moving. I just realized this whole time you guys are probably listening to the scanners beeping, but hey, the scanners are always trying to make us money, and I'm not going to complain about that. I have these headphones on all day. If I walk into the kitchen to do something, I hear that scanner starting to go off, I'm always running back in and checking it. You guys see me if you watch me live. I do it all the time. If I have to get up and I hear the thing go off, I'm coming back in. That's how I find all my trades. It's how I've made all my money. And hopefully it will continue to work as we continue to move forward. Now, I did just say, the market replay. So if we go into our dashboard and I go find any ticker that I want, and I actually went back to 2018 for my very first trade ever, just to see. Now, I do believe one thing that won't show up is if a ticker does no longer exist. I don't think you can replay those. But we'll find ACAM here. You can see a $702 loss. If we click on it, you'll see up here, there's a new button that says replay trade, or you could come over here to market replay and you can actually type in the date and go right to the time, or, whatever. If you click replay trade, it's going to bring you to the market replay, which is in a new tab. It's going to take you to that day, to that ticker, and you can have normal 2x, 3x, 5x speed. And then as you can see, you can type in the exact time. You can change the date if you want to go to something else. This is all movable. Like, you can move all this around. You can exit out. You can actually pull up the settings. You can change so you can see it has full level 2. It has everything. It's pretty awesome. But if we go forward, I believe this was at 11:06. So if we fast forward real quick to 11:06, and I'm just going to keep this on fast speed here just so you guys can see it. I'm gonna hit play. It's gonna be on 5x. You can kind of see how it works. So there's time and sales. You got your level 2. Everything is gonna work as if it were normally working. And we're gonna see this thing pop real quick. I wonder if time and sales might not work if you're going so fast. Let me change it to normal real quick and see what happens. Oh, I think the time and sales was just that slow because I don't think this thing didn't really start moving. I think it was like volume out of nowhere type thing. Why is this? It's 11:06. All right, there we go. And now it fast forward. Why did it fast forward? I feel like I'm the one messing this up, but here we go. Let's just put this on 5x. It'll go to the time. And for some reason, I changed this around. This is actually how I had it set up. So I'm wondering if it just clicked back over to how I had it set up. But it's really cool because you can go back and you can retrade any ticker. So if you feel you made a mistake on something, you can go back and you can basically replay it as if you would have normally played it without the mistake. Or like if you didn't add when you think you should have added, and you can see how the trade would have played out in that scenario. So 11:06 is coming up here. You're going to see the big spike. There it is. And basically, this is your way of trying to retrade something that you traded before, whether it be a loss, whether it be a winner you think that should have been bigger. whether it was a mistake, no matter what it is, you're able to go back and basically retrade this. So if I just show you real quick, so say I wanted to start this with 50 shares and I wanted to sell it, you can do market, you can do limits, you can put stop losses in or whatever, put the 50 in, hit sell, and it's going to put that in there. And of course, as you can see, it went up right after that, but it's going to keep track. You can see it's got your unrealized P&L. It has your quantity, tells you your average, has all your orders here. And again, like if I wanted, so like if this were actually happening, I'd probably want to add. That was a really bad ad. It actually gave it to me up there, I guess, because of the 5X. The 5X probably messing with it. I obviously wouldn't trade this on 5X, but I do know this just from playing yesterday that it made this wick down and then ultimately ends up going way higher. So I'm actually just going to close this out and just be done with it for now. But as you can see, we lost 88 bucks. So nothing too crazy about that. But it's pretty cool, right? So if we pause this, you can see now we got new arrows. We got arrows on the chart, gives us our P&L in the day, our orders. So it's cool. It's basically demo trading, but you can go back and replay any trade that you want. And it's something that TraderSync just came out with, and it's pretty awesome. I'm actually going to make a video about this probably tonight and put it out because I think it's such an amazing tool. And I do think that anyone that has TraderSync or is looking to get TraderSync, this is really just something that's going to put you over the edge and is really going to help you. If you have those hours to spend at night to really push and want to make yourself better, this is going to help you a lot. I wish I had something like this when I first started. I was trying to do it on Thinkorswim's on demand and it just sucked. This is like 100 times better than that. So yeah, I believe this video has been super long. I probably should have like split this into 2 different videos, but maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Always appreciate that support. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. You can find me in Discord or over on Twitter, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.